All right. Welcome to Jonesycast. I'm Jonesy, and this is the cast. Um, like and subscribe if you like. If you don't, then don't. Hey, essentially what I do is read Reddit posts like relationship advice and provide very general advice. Let's see how this goes. Um, Use a mysterious Froyo 887 2 minutes ago. Boyfriend of 3 months is moving out of state and wants me to come with. My boyfriend hates the current place that we live, but my whole life is here. He wants me to visit him for 2 weeks every month. I feel like that is a lot, and I'm not sure I am comfortable with it. Has anyone else dealt with this before? Do you have tips on long distance for a relatively new relationship? Oh, okay. Um, Here's the deal. I dated, so I'm 33, and I dated a girl when I was 23 to 25. She was 19 to 21. And she had dated a guy. So I live in Victoria in Australia, and this guy moved from Victoria up to Queensland, and then she moved up there with him, and then she broke up with him. So she had to, uproot her whole life that she'd set up there, and then move back down to Victoria. I mean, and she's not the only girl that I've dated that's done that. Um, if I was in your position, I wouldn't move yet. I mean, my boyfriend hates the current place that we live, but my whole life is here. If that's true, if your whole life is there, don't move out. And the reason is because you, if you go with him, um, you two will be relying on each other much more than is probably what you're used to, and maybe much more than is healthy. Um, I mean, just say he has to move for work and you've known him for like 5 years and you've been married for three, right? Then you got to move for his work. That's a different scenario because you know each other. You are consistent with each other. You love each other. Um, you know that each other is reliable. But the problem is, I mean, your boyfriend of 3 months, do you know if he's reliable? Do you know if he's honest? Do you know if he's consistent? Do you know if he's courageous? Like, what do you know about this guy in 3 months? You know, and so if I was in your position, I would let him move, um, and then he has to make a choice. Is he willing to do the long distance relationship? Are you willing to do the long distance relationship? I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy. It just seems that he wants something, but he also has to take into account what you want. That's what a relationship is, taking into account what the other person wants. So my advice on this would be the first thing that you do is to have a conversation with him. And in that conversation, you must establish that no decisions will be made as a consequence of this initial conversation. The reason I say that is because um, you don't want the pressure of him saying something bad and then that you're going to react to, or vice versa. You don't want, there's just too much pressure of decision on that conversation. You need to have a conversation in which no decision will come from that. All you're doing is getting information. And then you can have another conversation in the future in which a decision is made, right? Just off the cuff, I would not move. I would let him move and then see how you can work out long distance. And if it doesn't work, well, okay. I mean, it depends how you feel about each other. Do you love him enough to do it? I mean, this is dicey. It looks like it's going to be a short video. The answer, I wouldn't do it. But you need to have a conversation with him. You need to talk to him. The other thing that I would do before you have any kind of conversation with him is write down what you want in a relationship. Okay, don't be thinking about this relationship. Put that to the side. Think about yourself and think about these things and write these down. And I mean it. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Because if you don't write it down, all these thoughts and understandings that you have and these revelations will get lost in the ether that is your thoughts in your mind. Okay. And it's only because you're human. So write it down. Here's what you need to write down. What you want in a relationship. situation, what you don't want in a relationship, what you want in a man, and what you want in yourself. Okay. What you don't want in a man and what you don't want in yourself. Write all those things down, because that will be the compass for when this situation gets out of hand, if it does. Okay. You need to have a compass. You need to have standards. You need to have principles. You need to have a line that you will not go past. And that's what writing it down and setting the rules for yourself is. And if he's not willing to respect that, then he can jog on, you know? So write down those things, and then have a conversation with him with no decisions, and then have a think about it and ask him to do the same. And then have another conversation in which maybe a decision is made. Again, you're not on a deadline. You're not on a time frame, except the one that you impose on yourself and that he imposes on himself and you. Okay. If he wants to move and he wants you to go with him, well, nothing's free, mate. Like, you got to pay the price that I want. So you can move, and then we will continue to see each other. Maybe I'll come down once a month or something for a few days, depending on your work situation. And if you two are still rocking along, having a great relationship, loving spending time with each other, and you like each other, not just love each other, but you like each other, then that is a new time to sit there and assess the situation. You know, you reassess. And that's what you have to remember also. People have a habit of making a decision and sticking with it all the time. And while that is okay in some scenarios where the principle or the rule needs to be made, a lot of decisions can be adjusted. You know, you make a plan and then that plan will fail, right? Military doctrine says that your plan will fail on first contact with the enemy. So what do? You readjust the plan. You adjust to the current circumstances. That's what I would do. You know, you don't have to feel pressured. And again, if he starts pressuring you or guilting you or gaslighting you or whatever, just tell him to fuck right off. I mean, because I will not be guilted or coerced by anyone, right? If I'm not comfortable doing something, then you're not going to get me to do it. So I hope this video helps, and good luck.